Everybody look left. Everybody look right. Everywhere you look, I'm standing spotlight. Not yet.
Let every creature go for broke and sing. Let's hear it on the earth and on a wing. It's gonna be King Simba's finest fling. Oh, I just can't wait to be king. Oh, I just can't wait. Just can't wait to be king. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess, and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I have Audrey and Mariah, and we are talking about The Lion King.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for being here, you guys.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited.
Me too. Yes. Get it.
Let's do this, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it.
Strap in. Grab your snacks. We have snacks.
Well, I can't reach my snacks, but thank you, Audrey.
No problem.
We have peanut butter
Staple.
M&Ms. It is the staple snack, but we separated it because of the virus that's going on.
And we're
also,
not really good at social distancing.
We're not good at social distancing in this moment.
We're family, so it's fine.
It doesn't matter. The coronavirus doesn't care.
True. If we could be farther, I promise you we would be. It's a little tight in my studio, and it's very weird to have, 3 people sitting here instead of, 2. We're just me. So,
Yeah, and
we're
not
trying to make it work. Check out and join my Patreon, and you'll see the behind the scenes of how we had to rearrange the room. Subtle plug. I have Simba.
I have not.
Mufasa.
The Lion King is a 1994 animated theatrical release. It's directed by Roger Allers and Rob Minkoff. Roger Allers is best known for Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Tron, and this, and a bunch of other Disney stuff. Rob Minkoff I've covered in the video about The Great Mouse Detective. The link will be in the description.
Ruben A. Aquino is the supervising animator of adult Simba, and Jess covered him in Oliver and Company. The link will be down below.
Tony Bancroft is the supervising animator for Pumbaa, and he's best known for Mulan, Stuart Little 2, Aladdin, and this.
James Baxter is the supervising animator of Rafiki, and I covered him in the video about Beauty and the Beast. Link will be in the description.
Aaron Blaze is the supervising animator for Young Nala, and he's best known for Pocahontas, Brother Bear, Aladdin, and this.
Dave Burgess is the supervising animator for The Hyenas, and he is best known for Atlantis, The Lost Empire, Megamind, Monsters vs. Aliens, and the Lego Movie The Second Act.
Anthony DeRosa is the supervising animator for adult Nala, and Jess covered him in the Rescuers Down Under video. Link will be in the description.
Andreas Deja is the supervising animator for Scar, and he was covered in the video for Black Cauldron, and you can find the link in the description.
Russ Edmonds is the supervising animator for Sarabi. I covered him in the video about the Rescuers Down Under. The link will be in the description.
Tony Fusile is the supervising animator of Mufasa, and he's best known for The Incredibles, The Iron Giant, Ratatouille, and Incredibles 2.
Mark Henn is the supervising animator for Young Simba, and he was also covered in the video for Black Cauldron, and the link is in the description.
Alex Cooper-Schmidt is also a supervising animator for The Hyenas, and he is best known for Lilo and Stitch, The Princess and the Frog, Aladdin, and this.
Michael Surrey is the supervising animator of Timon, and he's best known for Tarzan, Atlantis, The Lost Empire, Aladdin, and this.
Ellen Woodbury is the supervising animator for Zazu, and she is best known for Treasure Planet, Hercules, Aladdin, and this.
The film was edited by Ivan Bilancio. He is best known for Hercules, The Transformers, the movie, Wreck-It Ralph, and this.
The underscore was written by Hans Zimmer, and Jess covered him in the video about Cool Runnings. Link in the description. The music and lyrics were written by Sir Elton John and Tim Rice.
The film was written by Irene Mecchi, and she is best known for The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Brave, Hercules, and this.
The film was also written by Jonathan Roberts and Linda Wolverton. Jonathan Roberts is best known for James and the Giant Peach, the live-action Lion King, Monsters, Inc., and this. Linda Wolverton, I covered in the video about Beauty and the Beast. Link will be in the description. Okay, so I know a lot of you have heard that this story's based off Hamlet, blah, blah, blah. But it actually isn't. It is based off of nothing, so we're not going to do some fancy comparison. However, they do say it is loosely inspired by the biblical story of Joseph, the biblical story of Moses, and the William Shakespeare play Hamlet.
Joseph, He was the one who was, like, sold off by his brothers, and they tore his coat and all that kind of stuff, and then he was taken to Egypt, where he's, like, a slave and all this kind of stuff, but then he has the dreams, and then, you know, becomes eventually, like, Pharaoh's right-hand man. And that's sort of, like, you sort of see that when Simba goes out, you know, he runs away or whatever, which is, you know, Joseph being sold into slavery, all that kind of stuff, and then where you see kind of Moses come in is, like, Simba is, like, in the desert, which is similar, and you see reflected in the Moses story where he's wandering the desert for 40 years with all the Israelites and blah, 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 and then eventually they go into the Promised Land, which...
The Pride Lands.
Could be, you know, the Pride Lands, or also could be this new wonderful land with, Timon and Pumbaa. Which you can also see that new land being Egypt with Joseph, because Joseph becomes the right-hand man, and, like, Simba is, like, the king of this new land sort of thing. You know, like, I guess, like, that's kind of how you see it.
That's why it's loosely inspired by
right,
they
but
take, like, pieces.
It's, like, very loose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a little bit more Hamlet influence, which is why I think they see that. I mean, Hamlet, for those of you not, you know, the brother betrays the father, so the brother can become king. That's a major Hamlet storyline. And then the son doing whatever the son is doing, and then having his whole to be or not to be soliloquy moment, and then coming back and claiming and all that kind of stuff, and defeating the brother.
Yeah.
Or the uncle in Simba and Hamlet's case. So that is much more influence, I would say. But I think you could also probably then say there's probably biblical influence in Hamlet. So, like, that's probably where all that influence is coming from. So we're not doing any kind of comparison. If you're interested in those stories, go look them up and find the comparisons for yourself, because it is, you know, half of your opinion. Yeah. You know, like you were tying all these where I'm like, and where you can see I see the Hamlet stuff because I studied Hamlet big time in high school.
Yeah.
So,
which I didn't, so I really don't know anything about Hamlet, but even then, like, I feel like with almost any story you can find some type of similarity. Right, like, it's not really huge.
I'm not going to list all the people starring in the film and then have us take turns. It's going to add to the time of the video. So, the film stars Matthew Broderick. He plays adult Simba, and he is best known for The Producers, War Games, The Cable Guy, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Maura Kelly is the voice of adult Nala, and she is best known for One Tree Hill, The Cutting Edge, and this.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas is the voice of young Simba, and he's best known for Home Improvement, Tom and Huck, The Adventures of Pinocchio, and this.
Nikita Kalame Harris plays the voice of young Nala, and she is best known for Timeless and this.
Jeremy Irons plays Scar, and I covered him in the video about Danny Champion of the World. The link will be in the description.
Ernie Sabella is the voice of Pumbaa, and he's best known for Mouse Hunt, Timon and Pumbaa, Lion King 1.5, and this.
Nathan Lane plays the voice of Timon, and he is best known for The Producers, The Birdcage, Lion King 1.5, and this.
Rowan Atkinson plays Zazu and is best known for the Johnny English movies, Mr. Bean, and this.
James Earl Jones is the voice of Mufasa, and he's best known for Rogue One, The Hunt for Red October, Return of the Jedi, and this.
Robert Guillaume is the voice of Rafiki, and he is best known for Sports Night, Big Fish, Half-Life 2, and this.
Whoopi Goldberg plays Shenzi, and she is best known for Ghost, Sister Act 1 and 2, and The Color Purple.
Jim Cummings voiced Ed, and Jess covered him in the DuckTales Treasure of the Golden Suns video.
Cheech Marin voices Bonsai, and Jess covered him in the video for Oliver and Company. Link is in the description.
Madge Sinclair plays Sarabi, and she is best known for Coming to America, Trapper John MD, Gabriel's Fire, and this.
Jason Weaver did the singing voice of young Simba, and he's best known for The Jacksons, An American Dream, The Lady Killers, and this.
Joseph Williams does the singing voice for adult Simba, and he is best known for The Goonies, Pitch Perfect, Magic Mike, and this.
Laura Williams is the singing voice of young Nala, and she is best known for Downtown, The Boy Who Had Everything, Luster, and this.
Sally Dworsky did the singing voice of adult Nala, and she's best known for The Prince of Egypt, The Cutting Edge, Mulan, and this.
In 1988, the idea for Lion King was actually first proposed on a plane to Jeffrey Katzenberg, and he jumped at the idea of a movie set in Africa.
Charlie Fink developed the film, but Katzenberg had a lot of influence on this one. He was very attached to this movie. He added his own personal life experiences, like coming of age and death, and his own personal experiences with politics. It's pretty interesting.
Originally, Thomas Dish wrote a treatment called King of the Kalahari, but then Linda Wolverton took over and wrote the script, and it was originally called The King of the Beasts, and then it turned into The King of the Jungle.
Originally, the story was about a war between baboons and lions, and Scar was a baboon, Rafiki was a cheetah, and Timon and Pumbaa were actually Simba's childhood friends.
Thomas Schumacher assigned himself to the project because, quote-unquote, lions are cool.
George Scribner became the director, and then Roger Allers joined him later.
The crew went on a trip to Hell's Gate National Park in Kenya to actually familiarize themselves with the environment and the animals.
George Scribner left when the idea of making the film a musical came into play. He didn't like it, so he left.
Wow.
Boo.
So after Scribner left, Rob Minkoff joined, and Don Hahn actually demanded that they take 2 weeks to stop all the production and to rework the script. And during that time, they changed the title to The Lion King because it takes place in a savannah. And they also made Scar and Mufasa brothers because they thought that that would make it more interesting.
2 more screenwriters were brought on to help with last-minute emotional follow-throughs and comedic relief, and Tim Rice worked incredibly closely with the writing staff and the animating staff to ensure that his lyrics helped the continuity.
James Earl Jones was cast because he has such a powerful voice, and he actually said, and I quote, "Through the production, Mufasa became a dopey dad as opposed to a grand king." Which I don't agree with, because I like that Mufasa has, some good dad qualities to him, and that he can really just connect with Simba.
Yeah.
And then the hyena is he's so powerful and just
I think they made him more well-rounded instead of a
Right.
king who's kind of a brat to his kid.
Yeah, and more relatable for sure, I think.
Mufasa agrees.
Yes.
Nathan and Ernie originally auditioned for hyenas, but when they were put in a room together, they were so funny, they were cast as Timon and Pumbaa.
Matthew Broderick was actually cast really early on and recorded all his audio so early he only ever recorded with another actor once, and he didn't know Maura Kelly was Nala until the premiere.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Tim Curry was supposed to be the voice of Scar, but he left to do Home Alone 2. Jeremy Irons really didn't want to do it at first because he didn't want to go from Klaus von Berlow to a comedic role, but he became so inspired by the script and the animators, and in his voice portrayal of Scar, the animators really liked how serious he was taking it, so that really came through in the animation as well.
The Lion King had a bad reputation in the studio, and many animators went to work on Pocahontas instead, thinking it would be more prestigious and probably more successful of the two. But they were wrong.
Yeah. A lot of the animators who did choose to work on Lion King did so because it was going to be their first time being able to be a supervising animator, or because they wanted more experience animating animals.
Good choice.
There were more than 600 artists, animators, and technicians who worked on the film. That's just crazy.
During the production of the film, there was an earthquake, and the animators actually had to stop work and then try and work from home.
Mariah said earlier that they studied real environments and real animals. That is very true. They were trying to go for realness in the environment of the savannah and the dust and the sun and all of that, and personally, I think they accomplished that.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
really greatly achieved.
Yeah.
5 specially trained animators and technicians spent a whole 2 years creating the 2.5-minute stampede scene.
Caps helped with tracking shots, color and lighting, and particle effects, and Jess talked a little bit about Caps in the Rescuers Down Under video.
The film had a $45 million budget and made $968.5 million in the box office worldwide.
Dang.
Are we surprised?
Whoa! No. It held the record for the highest grossing animated feature of all time for a very long time. I think Finding Nemo was the first to knock it out.
Really?
Yeah, I
Really?
think.
Or Frozen?
Frozen did knock Finding Nemo out.
Got
I'm
it.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
Unless there was one in between Frozen and Finding Nemo. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Don't hold me to
Don't
that.
quote us.
I'm just saying it held it for a while.
Yeah.
And then, maybe 8 years or something.
That's cool.
Dang.
And actually, too, the music was a big hit itself, too. And it was the first animated feature to have their soundtrack make it to a diamond record.
Dang. The first trailer that was put out was actually the complete opening scene of the movie, and Disney was actually very worried that they weren't gonna live up to the hype that was following it.
They did 11 test screenings until they did a limited release in June of 1994, and then a week after that, they released it everywhere.
Yeah, and it's the 46th highest grossing film of all time, and the 11th on the animated list.
The Lion King actually remains the highest grossing hand-drawn animated film.
It has a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was a huge critical success. Roger Ebert said not only was it entertaining, it was educational. People all over loved it. A couple people were like, hey, it's a little weird that it's just like animals and stuff. But for the most part, it was a giant critical success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, and it won for Best Original Score and Best Original Song.
There are a few controversies in the film, the first of which is Kimba the White Lion, which is a 1960s Japanese anime called Jungle Emperor by Osamu Tezuka. And the whole story behind it is in the 1980s they were relaunching or launching this anime on TV, and actually Roger Allers was in Tokyo at the time that this was airing, and he obviously worked on the film, so there's some question as whether the story was pulled from this anime to then create The Lion King. And Osamu Tezuka, he actually decided with his company, even though he was considered the Walt Disney of Japan, they all decided that they weren't going to sue just because their company was so much smaller.
Okay, I'm pretty sure everyone knows about the SEX controversy in this film when Simba falls and the dust flies off into the sky. Everyone and their mother was like, oh my gosh, it says sex. And then Disney was like, whoa, pump the brakes, dude. Our SFX, our special effects people, put in a little Easter egg, and it says SFX for special effects for that, because the dust was a special effect, and they were like, hey, we want to put our little mark on Lion King. But everyone saw it as sex, and I'm pretty sure it has since been removed. But it was never sex, okay? It was SFX.
It was their little signature.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that should have been fine to be left in there. I mean, like, a lot of the Pixar movies have the A113, which is a little nod to, the classroom that the animators took their classes in and stuff like that. So I think it's fair to have, people work on this film for forever,
Yeah, let them have their little moment, but
their little tidbit.
Also, they're gonna take it out. If people are gonna see, sex, they're taking it out.
Yeah, in the movie, obviously the hyenas aren't shown in, the best light. So scientists were a bit tongue-in-cheek about how the hyenas were treated after the film, but also, too, it raised the interest for hyenas. People were more interested in hyenas as animals because of the film. So.
Yeah. So it's kind of a double,
double-edged
people
sword.
think hyenas are evil now, but also there's more interest in hyenas. So what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is better.
Yeah.
And also the hyenas in the film were marching in a manner.
Yeah, so the hyenas goose step. For those of you who don't know what goose stepping is, it's not from the Aristocats when they say think goose and walk like a goose. Mm-hmm. Goose stepping is the way the Nazis used to march. And that's what they do. So they're equating Scar to Hitler, and it's a thing.
Yeah. Another controversy with the hyenas is that it highlights some race issues. And, this can really be seen in how they are, I guess, the colors they use and the way that they're
physically
drawn,
yep.
The way they're physically portrayed. And these sort of, poor motif that they use, they don't have as much food, they're not as intelligent, they don't have, as many defenses. Yeah, they live in the bad part of town, so
they're evil. They're seen as evil.
Right.
It's all not good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the last controversy, which, is that the film sometimes is considered fascist, it's promoting a fascism situation, which is when the powerful, triumph, beautiful, powerful people triumph over, the weak. and the weak only live to serve the strong. I disagree. I don't think that's the message of the film. The circle of life is the message of the film. I mean, Mufasa really says, like, when Simba's like, don't we eat the antelope? He's like, yeah, but the antelope eat us later when we're grass.
Yeah.
So, like, we aren't better than the antelope because we also get eaten by them.
And it's the circle of life.
And it's the circle of life. So I don't know where the, like, I get it. I guess they're being like, oh, only the beautiful survive because the hyenas and the Scar and whatever. But I don't see that because at the beginning, Mufasa is literally like, we are not better than anyone because they end up eating us after we die. So, like...
Right, and also the hyenas aren't really serving...
Right. They're serving Scar.
Yes.
Who's considered one of the beautiful because he's a lion.
I guess.
But at the end of the day, Mufasa, who's the goodest good guy in the film, says we aren't better than anyone.
Right.
Only because we eat the antelope, so, like, yeah, we have to eat the antelope to survive, but then when we die, we help them survive by becoming the grass. So, the circle of life is the message. I don't think the fascism is the message. Scar is evil, so for him to be fascist is obviously, he's bad. Fascism is bad. Like, that's what that is. The film spawned 2 animated series, Timon and Pumbaa and The Lion Guard. It also spawned into video games. There are a lot of different Lion King video games, but probably most notably Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, and there was actually 2 sequels. There was Lion King 2 Simba's Pride, which we all love here. And...
We stand.
Yes, we do. So good.
Yes.
And Lion King 1.5, which, I mean...
No.
It was the first DVD I actually ever purchased on my own. Fun fact.
That's adorable.
So it still has, like,
That's
a
cute.
little place in my heart.
Yeah, yeah.
And 2, I'm a Pumbaa fan, so...
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Fair.
Yes.
I mean,
And-
it's still cute.
Yes. And 2, how could you forget that there is a Broadway musical?
Oh, yeah. And then also, of course, we have to mention, unfortunately,
Unfortunately.
the 2019 CGI remake of Lion King.
Yikes.
Y'all. We'll get there.
Yeah. On Disney Plus, you can find 5 deleted scenes.
Okay, I do have the Blu-ray. I don't have, like, a Blu-ray DVD digital combo pack. I only have the Blu-ray. So I wasn't able to watch the bonus features and take screenshotties. So I'm just going to tell you what is on the Blu-ray. Starting with the bloopers. You can actually find those on YouTube if you want to watch those. It's like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
They animated bloopers from the booth. And they're pretty cute.
So there's 3 other sections to the Blu-ray. There's Backstage Disney Diamond Edition, Music and More, and Disney Virtual Vault.
And in the Backstage Disney Diamond Edition, you can find Pride of the Lion King, a memoir of Don Hahn, and deleted and alternate scenes.
Under Music and More, you can find a sing-along and the morning report.
First of all, the intro was inspired by Cheetah, the movie. Look it up. It's a fact.
It's a fact. Watch our video on
Yep.
it.
Link in the description.
She forces my editing self to do things.
I do. Not sorry.
Yeah, the opening is iconic. We all know this.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
Circle of Life, the sun.
Just the animation. Period.
Right.
Let's get that out of the way. The animation, everything technical about this
Yes.
film, extraordinary.
Yes.
The animation, the music, the acting, all of it,
Yeah.
amazing.
The colors, too.
I just need to say Jeremy Irons is so good as Scar. It's a little bit stupid. It's like, I love Jeremy Irons. I think he's great. His voice is very, like, soothing to me. And then he's so perfect as Scar. His acting and his, like, his over dramatic and his, like, and then be prepared. His whole delivery of be prepared is, you just buy it. You buy all of it.
Yeah, and then you definitely come to see, like, how the animators were so impressed by how serious he was taking the role, and, like, that really comes through, I think. Obviously, in the animating, like, they were like, yes, we're gonna use this, but also, like, just in his voice, you can tell he's really giving his all, and I think that's really cool.
And I think everybody involved in, like, working on Scar did a really good job to have, like, the audience not like Scar.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, especially this watch through, I found myself really disliking Scar more.
That's so funny.
As a kid, I'm like, I mean, I get, like, as a kid, I was like, it went kind of over my head.
Oh,
but
really?
like the more you listen to like what Scar is saying and the delivery behind it, like I have some mean comments about Scar that are off-brand, but
I hated Scar when I was little. I was like, he's where he killed his brother. And now as an adult, I'm like, he is such a good villain. I love him so much. Like, I hate him, obviously, but that's the point. You want to hate the villain.
Yeah.
Right. And, like, he's not just like oh, he's evil to be evil, I feel like. Like, he wants something.
There's
he
a
wants
purpose.
to be king, and he's just nasty.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm going to kill my brother to be king, and then I'm going to kill his kid. Like,
Yeah.
no.
But also, like, in the beginning, you're like, oh, wait, he's not that bad. Like,
He's just jealous. And
right, he's just jealous, and even Simba's, like, coming around him, and you're thinking
Yo,
it's
when
like...
Simba, like, cuddles with Scar,
I
it's
know!
so cute.
I
It's your
know!
uncle.
Oh my gosh, and it's like, oh, he's not that bad. Like, obviously, his freaking nephew, like, still loves him, and that's so cute, but then it's like, oh, wait, but I'm gonna kill you.
I'm basically Hitler.
Tables have turned!
I was trying to listen to when Mufasa says, the sun will set on my time. So when I was when I heard this, I wanted to see if the animation played into that. So like, when was it bright? When was it dark? And when did the colors change? And I think they did like a really good job of that, and especially towards the end too. Like the rain is rebirth, and then there was that break in the sky and the transition to like the sun coming up. So then that was like the start of Simba's reign and the start of his time too. So
Yeah, there was a
Well,
lot
the sun
of symbolism.
actually set on Mufasa's time.
yes, yeah, exactly. When Mufasa like died, passed away.
And Simba's running away, the sun is
Right,
setting.
like he's running into the sunset, so that's the end of an era for the kingdom, which I thought was really
live for
good. I know,
symbolism.
Yeah.
we do.
We love the subtext and symbolism in movies.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think going on top of that, like, the use of color, as Jess is always pointing out to me lately, mainly because I'm, like, living with her with this coronavirus, but, like...
It started with High School Musical, the musical, the series. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I bet you he's gonna be in blue and green. And you were like, what?
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
oh, colors, like, characters have color schemes. And you were
Yes.
like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
And it's like
now
it's like so common, and it's used all the time.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, haven't you noticed the villain is always in purple or green? And
in
I'm like,
Disney.
In Disney, yes.
Whoa.
Sometimes red.
yeah,
Like
Yeah,
Gaston.
and just
But purple and green most often.
watching the movie, like, you notice, like, his eyes are green, and in the Be Prepared scene, like, everything is green
And purple.
and purple, and even, like, I feel like when it becomes Scar's reign, like, there's some green hints, and it's obviously much darker, and, you know, I think that is so cool, the way that's done.
Well, and then we noticed that Nala is much more golden than the other
Yes,
lionesses, and it's like, I wonder who her love interest is.
Right.
Maybe it's the gold lion.
Yeah, and Mufasa and Simba too are very gold color, very regal colors.
Yes,
so.
yes, yes. Which he is. I was gonna say also in the ending scene, there's a lot of symbolism with the fire striking. Like you see, like everything is burning, obviously because everything is dead. But then there's obviously, you see it coming, that something is going to be reborn from the ashes, and then the rain. And then obviously Simba's time comes and the sun rises, and which, again, we're going through with those motifs and those symbolism. Yeah,
colors.
which is so cool.
The Stampede's incredible. The sting before the Stampede, the and then it goes so good. Also, another piece of music, like everyone knows the music. Everyone knows like the or like when Simba's dead or Mufasa's dead. You know, the slow, you're like, oh. But no one really, like, shouts out the scene where Scar is revealing that it's Simba's fault that Mufasa died. Like, the strings in that scene, like,
So good.
when I was watching it on Monday, before I watched it with y'all, I was like, okay, music in this scene. I've never noticed how, like, chilling it is. It's so good.
Right.
Thank you, Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, and that's why it won, Best Original Score.
So, Stampede, Mufasa dying, cry, count,
Yes.
to, yeah.
Sorry,
I know.
I don't cry at that. I've never cried
At
that
Mufasa
scene.
dying?
Yeah, no.
Ever?
Really?
No, I've never cried.
This time, well, with you guys, I got a little teary. I didn't full on cry. By myself, I got teary at the scene where he was in trouble. And his dad was like, and when like Simba did like this big breath, like he was gonna have a panic attack and start crying, I was like, I was like, oh no. So I got really emotional. And then tears never fall until Simba's tears fall, actually. I've never realized that.
Really?
Because of the beginning music, when he's like, Dad, I'm like, I'm there emotionally, but my tears aren't like ready. But then the second the like big music in that scene starts and his tears start to fall, my tears fall. I've never noticed that before. But I was like, I'm okay. Couldn't Sarabi be queen?
Yeah, okay, so a question that I had. So Mufasa dies, Simba runs away. Scar says, like, tells the news, you know, and I didn't think about it before, but on this watch through, I was just wondering, like, why couldn't Sarabi just be queen? Because, too, also in Lion King 2, like, Kiara is
Gonna be
queen. Like, given. Like, there was no questions asked. Like, she's gonna be queen. So why couldn't Sarabi just be queen? I mean, we wouldn't have a movie, you know, if that was the case.
I mean, we'd
But-
have some kind of movie, but,
Right, but
it wouldn't be
not-
as dramatic.
Exactly. But,
Well, I mean, there could be, like, some arguing with, like, bloodline. Like, maybe technically Mufasa is the bloodline of the royalty, and, you know, this
Yeah.
is, like, his wife or
Well,
whatever.
that's kind of,
and that's why
I think
Kiara...
that's how it is in England.
Like,
actually.
that's why
that's
Kiara
true.
can be queen, like, because she has
Like
the
if-
bloodline.
yeah.
If the queen of England dies, it doesn't go to her husband, it goes to her
kids.
grandson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
son. Who's still
Son.
alive, for
Yes.
sure.
Mhm.
And then grandchildren.
Yes.
But, yeah, it wouldn't go to her husband. Yeah, I guess it could be a bloodline thing, but also sexist.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And, like, Sarabi is, like, she has all the qualities to be
I mean, she is queen.
I mean, she's queen. But,
Wait.
but you know what I mean? Like, I know she could have led the people way better than Scar.
Well,
you know,
yeah,
but,
that's for sure.
But that's the whole
But
point
yeah,
of the
no,
movie.
okay, I'll take the bloodline thing. I like that excuse better than
Right,
just they
right.
didn't want a woman to lead.
Mm-hmm.
I like
And
that better.
they redeemed themselves in the second one.
By
Right,
letting
Kiara,
Kiara,
yeah,
100%.
like, you know, we see that redemption.
Kovu over here being like, I'm happy being over here.
I also want to reiterate that Pumbaa is the best.
He is the best. 2 gay dads.
2 gay dads raising Simba on their own, you know.
Also, listen, Timon's great. Kind of a bad friend.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't
Kind
realize.
of a bad friend. He's like kind of mean. Like we get it. We know that Timon deep down cares about them. And at the end, he does do the like, if it's important to you, we're with you to the end, which is the important part.
Right.
But he's also like makes Pumbaa feel stupid when Pumbaa's the one with all the ideas.
Yeah, and then claims him as his own, and
then,
just Pumbaa's just so
like makes Simba
pure.
feel stupid.
Right. And he's actually
Yeah.
smart. He knows about astrology and all that.
yeah. And he
Pumbaa,
knows
yeah.
about stars,
Astronomy.
Astrology.
He's just like, you're a Virgo.
Hey, he could. He probably does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly.
true.
Big balls of gas. Everything with you is gas. Screw you, Timon.
Right, yeah.
You're dumb. You thought it was
Turd.
fireflies on a big bluish
Yeah,
black thing.
and you hurt Simba's feelings.
Yeah, which makes me sad.
Didn't
Yeah.
apologize.
So, like, so at the end of the day, Timon comes through and he's a good dude, but he has some traits that he needs to work on himself. He needs to go to therapy.
I think so.
What were you gonna say?
Wow, that got really deep. Well,
It got really deep. Hey, therapy's great.
no, I agree.
I
But
agree.
this movie, like, going off of that too, like, it really doesn't, like, show a good representation of how to deal with stuff that happens
Yeah.
in their lives.
Yeah.
You know, like, run away from your feelings as opposed to
No worries.
dealing.
Hakuna
Right,
Matata.
just move on. Like, whatever's in the
Yeah.
past is in the past. And, like, to a degree, yeah, sure, like, you can let go of
Deal
little
with
things.
Simba
and
being
deal with
guilty
it
in
and then let it
general
go.
just like makes me so sad, like him having the guilt over his dad's death and
Yeah.
like the fear that you see in young Simba's eyes when Scar tells him it's his fault
Right.
is heart-shattering. And then the fact that Timon and Pumbaa, he doesn't confide in Timon and Pumbaa and they never push for him to confide in them to the point where they'd be able to be like, dude, that's definitely not your fault. Like, what are you talking about? Your uncle's a turd. Like, which makes me really sad. And then Rafiki, the only one with wise words, which is you can either run from the past or learn from the past.
Yes.
And he's like, learn from it, you idiot. Like,
Yeah.
don't run from it because it's just gonna follow you if you keep running.
Exactly. Yeah, and I felt bad for Simba too because in the grass when they're looking at the stars, like I think that moment was the first time that he was actually opening himself up to Timon
The
and
great
Pumbaa.
kings of the past, and they make me feel stupid.
And like, because when he first meets Timon and Pumbaa, he doesn't want to talk about the past at all. He doesn't want to talk about Mufasa, what he was taught, anything. So then I think that's the first instance that he was trying to be, you know, authentic and not just like, go carefree and everything. So I felt bad because he was finally...
I'm mad at Timon.
I am because I'm like, he's finally trying to like cope. Finally trying to understand the past.
Someone
and,
told me. Yeah.
You know, like...
And Timon's like, oh, that's stupid, you're dumb.
Bunch of dead guys up there.
And then Simba's like, I'm leaving. And then Timon, was it something I said?
Yes! Yes, you turd.
Listen, y'all, slow-mo fight don't do it for me. Slow-mo, don't do it. It is so exciting. You're so in. Scar and Simba about to throw hands. Pause. And they're going at it. And then it goes slow-mo and does like the visual echo. And it's like, oh, wow, you really, I'm not here. Some people probably love it, which is great.
I mean, I don't hate it like they hate it, but I take it or leave it. That's how I'm at.
I don't, like, when I was younger, I don't think I cared. And the older I got, I kept being like, why is this in slow motion? Like, you took, like, I know they're trying to go for more climactic. But for me, slowed it down. Like, literally slowed it down. I was like, I was excited to see him, like, really...
And they did a little bit beforehand.
Right before, and it was exciting.
Yeah, and it was like, oh dang!
And then it slows down.
It was definitely, you know, an artistic choice, I think, because they were like, let's highlight the, you know, the drawings here and blah blah.
Well,
blah.
yeah, and like they're extended and they're like going at it, and it's a big momentous moment, and I get it, but like doesn't do it for me personally.
Yeah.
And Audrey apparently as well. She agrees with me.
I agree.
That is everything we have for The Lion King. My final rating is 10 lions out of 10. What would you rate it?
I would have to go 10 as well. 10 lions.
Honestly, I would probably say young me would probably say 10 because all-time favorite, but adult me probably says 9.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Lions, 9, 10, 10 lions out of 10. If you want to see my broken down rating, go down below, but I gave it straight 10. So the average of that is 10.
Yeah. And for nostalgia, obviously 10.
Yeah,
For sure.
I mean, it would have been probably rounded up to a 10 anyway because all the technical stuff I think deserves a 10.
Oh, 100%.
And then my enjoyment opinion, that's just how I was feeling at the time. And at the time, I felt a 10. So here we are.
There you go.
Our total movie count is... Our parent death toll is... Our cry count is... If you want to keep up with the movie I'm watching when, follow me on Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah,
You'll find out what movie I'm watching when. They don't want you to follow them on anything.
Sorry. But I'll be in the comments.
So
comment down below.
Comment down below. Join Patreon.
Yes!
And you'll get to see the behind the scenes for this video, which will be extensive. I go from when the day I started researching it until I'm going to be going through my edit. So it'll be very detailed behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Thank you beyond words for being here.
Oh, well,
and coming
thank
and being
you.
part of my Lion King video.
Well, thank you beyond words for having us.
Yeah, for real, thanks.
It's so fun.
I know
And
it's hard to have guests because it makes it longer, but it's real fun.
It's so fun. It's fun to bounce off, and it's the Lion King. It deserves all the grandiose fun. Oh, also, Sammy, Sammy wanted to be in this video so bad. She claimed it way back when I started this project, and now obviously I don't live in LA anymore, and she doesn't live here. She was actually gonna come visit, and we were gonna squeeze her into the video. It was gonna be amazing, but she canceled her flight because the coronavirus started happening, and it was just the smart decision. So everyone show Sammy some love. We really miss her. We were sad she didn't get to be in the video.
She should definitely
And-
come for the sequel.
I don't know
Or-
if she's seen the sequel, actually.
Ooh, that would make really good video.
Yeah, that's true. We love you, Sammy.
Yes, we do.
Special shout out to you. We're sad you didn't get to be in the video, but no, we love you and
Yes.
that you're here in spirit.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, that's everything. Join Patreon again, just because I want you to. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe, and unsubscribe if you are, so you do, and don't be Scar about it.
Obviously.
Duh. And this.
Spider-Man. Look at Spider-Man Simba.
Wait, okay.
Robert Guillaume plays refugee, and he's best known for Sports Night.